Please join me in welcoming our next resource speaker, Mr. John Forfar. Sir John, please take it away.
Welcome all. My
Sure.
name's John Forfar. Welcome to today's session. I'll be running through um, some slides. I'll just make sure they're sharing now again. Let me share. Can you see the slide pack? Please give us a thumbs up in the chat. Okay, great. Yeah, so thank you very much for attending today. Again, my name's John Forfar. I'll be running a vibe coding workshop, really here to teach people skills in vibe coding, which basically means using AI to help build things. Long ago, you need to be an experienced developer to get a basic project built or a website built. Now there's a lot of fantastic tools that enable people to build it from scratch very quickly. So I'll be showing you that. For today's session, I'll just run through a quick introduction to OpenX AI, who are sponsoring this session, and I'll be just running through a information brief, and then we'll get into vibe coding. While we're here, I just want to make sure that the people on the live workshop just give us your background on the chat. So let us know if you're currently studying at university, if you're doing computer science, or maybe you're just an enthusiast. So please let me know your background, if you're technical or not. And yeah, I'll try and tailor the presentation towards you. So just a little bit about me. So I'm basically a long-term technology enthusiast ever since out of high school. Even in high school, I was big on technology and getting into computers. So yeah, I've been doing this for like nearly 20 years. Some of the things I've got, I've set up in the back in my previous last 6 years. I got into crypto probably in 2016 and blockchain and decentralized technology. Then I was founder of Solana Australia community. So I was able to help launch that community across Australia back in 2020, and then moved into AI. So I caught the AI bug and was able to sort of build a career in both Web3 and AI. So there are two emerging technology fields. So yeah, pretty cool space. And I do have a YouTube channel, so I'll just quickly I've put the link here in the chat. But yeah, you can see I've got a YouTube channel. So all these workshops I try and get the recording, and then you can at any time go back and watch some of these previous workshops. So I'll be talking more about that in a second. So what is OpenX AI about? So AI is the most powerful technology that humanity's ever created. So there's a huge problem with AI industry at the moment, where up to 92% of all the power and the human talent is stuck in the AI industry, is stuck within only a handful of companies. So we believe that AI should be decentralized, just like the internet, built so it's free, it's open for everyone to access, and it must not be owned by a few central big company figures, so the big tech companies, which means that it's accessible to everyone and it cannot be censored or monopolized. So Juris was talking previously about decentralized Web3, how different decentralized networks fix this, and this is exactly what OpenX AI is trying to do in the AI industry. So one of the biggest questions is who owns AI right now? Now you can sort of see some of the logos on the screen. But yeah, there is a handful of big tech companies. They control a lot of the resources that currently run AI chat services, AI tooling, um, AI, like services like ChatGPT that you might be using. And the problem with this is these big tech companies control this huge industry. And this is really an industry that's going to last for many decades. It'll be rolled out not just in chatbots that you use in Messenger or in like a website like ChatGPT, but AI is rolling out across other areas like robotics. So you'll start seeing AI used in robotics. You're already seeing it in self-driving for vehicles. So this is a huge technology space. It's going to disrupt lots of different industries, and it should not be controlled just by a handful of companies. Um, so what these big tech companies control, when I say control, I'm talking about not just the investment. So, up to $50 billion a year, some of these big companies are investing in AI research and talent. They're also in control of the data centers. They're in control of the data itself that's going through it. For example, all of your ChatGPT logs are stored in ChatGPT because it's a centralized server. And when you're using that server, you're abiding by their terms and conditions, but also anything that you ask and get responses for could be used against you in the future. So if you just look at decentralized Web3, how networks like like Bitcoin were built, there is a way to build a network of using this technology where there isn't a middleman. You can get rid of the middleman and just have a decentralized technology network running it. So this is very much what OpenXAI is about. Even some of the big open source directories that hold a lot of the open source models, they're still centralized. So things like Hugging Face, they have approximately 2.2 million open source AI models listed on their directory. But then when you try and build a business on top of it, there's a whole bunch of terms and conditions. And you have to apply that and approve with that. And then when you try and build a business and monetize it, it's very difficult to be able to scale that up. So they have it a little bit locked down. It's very difficult to build a business where you can actually make money. So I'll just speak to MJ. So we've got a few drawings on the presentation. If we can get that fixed up, that'll be great. The other one is the perfect combination for disaster. When you have centralized technology companies, big tech, controlling a whole industry like AI, there's a huge problem where if there is some sort of, corporate fiasco where maybe there's a bunch of corporations that are monopoly working together, they have some legal issues, or they work together in an improper way, it can really disrupt and hinder the growth and innovation within the AI industry. And OpenXAI looks at this and tries to figure out how can we decentralize AI. So we're trying to avoid a potential disaster. And really, it just comes down to network design. So how do you design the technology? Do you have it centralized, where everything is running on just a handful of company servers, like this model on the left? Or do you try and decentralize it, where there's essentially clusters that are distributed all around the world? Maybe there's a bunch of AI services run out of China, a bunch of run out of USA, other countries across Europe and Asia running all these AI services. And really, it's up to the consumer, the user, to assess the risk, the pros and cons, and just pick the service that they want to use. So maybe you want to use a certain feature or company in your country, so you'd select that instead of using the big tech five group. The other one is distributed, where you completely, at the base level of the technology stack, you build a completely distributed and decentralized network of technology. So this is a fantastic way to decentralize it, remove the middleman, so that no powerful actor can stop you from getting access to AI. So what are some examples of centralized power? And one of the examples of a crisis caused by this centralized power is obviously the GFC. So the global financial crisis in 2008. The basic story is, if for those that weren't paying attention at that time, there was a handful of powerful banks. They had legislation where they could, from the government, be approved to loan certain, have certain loan conditions for the amount of money they lend to people. One of the big problems is they lent all this money to mortgages for people to live in a house, but they weren't doing all the checks and balances to make sure that those mortgage holders are actually able to pay back the loan. And what happened is they issued too much debt. The debt turned into a snowball, and then obviously the snowball kept going and going, and there was billions of dollars of debt, and essentially it just took a couple of banks to fail, and then the whole thing failed. And this is an example of a centralized risk in an industry. Obviously, this is banking, not AI. But now we're actually seeing the same thing happen in the AI industry. So just look at what I just showed you. There's a handful of big companies that control AI industry. And if there is any issue with any of those actors, they could bring the whole AI industry down. And we don't know when that's going to happen. There's a lot of doomsday stuff on YouTube. But basically, what you want to do is just try and, just like Bitcoin did for money, decentralize it for AI to eliminate that middleman risk. Again, AI industry, it's the most powerful technology. It's also the most centralized. Again, like 92% belongs to the big tech 5 companies. Most people can't afford the premium models, so you might be able to get free access for a certain amount. You might have 100 questions, and then you get locked out where you have to pay. And that's a huge problem. For example, you might need to KYC, where you sign up with your name and wallet and address. So that's one aspect of inaccessibility. The other one is you might need a credit card. So just scrolling through here, we've got quite a few people that are doing a Bachelor of Science Information Technology, Masters of Programming, a lot of university students. And a lot of university students don't actually have a credit card. They might be using their parents' credit card. They haven't had the chance to have a job with money or a paycheck going into a bank. The bank builds a financial history on you, then can issue you a credit card. So when you're actually using an AI service and you're trying to use the free version, and then it starts asking you to subscribe and pay now, you might not have a credit card to even do that. Now, you might say, oh yeah, I just use my dad's credit card. Well, that could be a problem if your dad doesn't have a banking credit card, and they're out of the banking system. And that's a problem that approximately 2 billion people in the world have. So the unbanked is another form of inaccessibility. And this is a problem for new technology. That's 2 billion people in the world that can't access AI and be a part of the new wave of innovation. Now, looking at the history of this emerging technology, you should think of it as the evolution of public infrastructure. So for decentralized money after the GFC, out of that came Bitcoin. So instead of the big bankers having control, someone built a decentralized network, and then they were able to basically release Bitcoin as a white paper. A bunch of enthusiasts joined the bulletin board forum and started contributing to it, whether that's adding code to an open source repo or running a node as a decentralized validator. And they were able to build up the Bitcoin network so that no middleman could control what funds go into which wallet. Then also peer-to-peer, people didn't need banking approval, a middleman, to approve a transfer from one person's wallet to the other. So yeah, it's a fantastic way where you remove the middleman, you let the protocol, the code, the open source smart contracts do all the work, and there's no human middleman that's the authority figure that approves your transfer from one person to the other for, say, money in Bitcoin from one wallet to the other. The same thing happened with Ethereum, which again is not just the store of value or monetary transfer, asset transfers. It actually started to go the next level where we had decentralized applications. And this meant people could build smart contracts. So Vitalik invented, participated in smart contract development and was able to help release that on Ethereum. So this means that a lot more complex transactions could occur on-chain on the Ethereum network, not just money transfer peer-to-peer, but a whole bunch of other very complex application logic, such as DeFi, decentralized finance, which could be lending, it could be liquidity providing, decentralized exchanges, things like that. The sort of third example here is IPFS, the Interplanetary File System. So it's a way to store files on a decentralized network of storage validator nodes or nodes. And basically, you're not storing your file on a Google Drive. That could potentially be turned off if that Google account gets banned or not paid for or something. There's a centralized risk. But with IPFS, you can actually put a file on the IPFS decentralized network, and that file is there essentially forever. There is different ways to pay for that. Pay for it once, and it's uploaded. So that's another example of decentralized storage. And then along came OpenMesh. So OpenMesh is a project that came out 4 years ago by the same founder of OpenXAI. OpenMesh is all about the decentralized cloud and data network. And essentially, they did that for decentralized servers and running an open source full stack environment. What they've done in the last year is really hone that and focus it down to AI and GPU decentralization. So I'll explain more about that. But what that means is if you're able to decentralize that technology stack, when compared to, say, some of these other big providers, you're able to get the costs right down. And it could be between 80 to 92% more affordable to use decentralized AI versus centralized AI. And I'll explain what that means. So again, there is a whole bunch of centralized closed source providers of AI services. It then moved into open source models starting to compete with them. And it's now moving into a more decentralized and permissionless industry where you can use different providers like OpenXAI to build your AI applications and then host it and run businesses on top of. So if you're a startup and let's say you have an idea that you want to build an AI project, you want to build a website, turn it into a business, raise some money, you're going to have a bunch of problems in today's current AI industry. So typically you come up with an idea, you start selecting a model or training an AI model, then you set up a company, you have to create a bank account, register your IP, have a credit card, pay for SaaS services or cloud hosting, AI inference, API costs, and then you launch a product to market. So create the website that people can log into, then market it on social media and get people to start using it. So there's a huge amount of time, like 2 months reasonably to get a startup business up and running, and it costs a fortune. So $30,000 is the estimate. So there is obviously registering a company somewhere, which has legal costs, then setting up banking. But the biggest cost I've found is the cloud hosting. So people that have a startup, they might have 1,000 users, could be paying between like $2,000 to $5,000 a month. And then when they start building AI services, maybe you've got a fantastic app that changes your TikTok video into a Viking example. So maybe it animates your videos with a specific effect. Whenever you're running that application and you have thousands of users, it's actually when you're trying to process that GPU AI inference, it might cost you thousands and thousands of dollars to process all those TikTok videos, convert it into whatever the effect is, and then send it back out to the customer. You're going to charge cloud hosting fees. You're going to pay bandwidth fees for all the video transfer. You're going to pay AI processing fees for all the GPUs. And it gets very expensive. And I've seen some startups get charged $25,000 a month US, and they don't even have over hundreds of customers. They're in a small amount of customers. They haven't scaled up yet, and yet they're still paying all these fixed costs. So that is not a good journey for a startup, and that's one of the big problems that OpenXAI wants to fix. Again, with OpenXAI, you can launch an AI application, pick open source models, use open source cloud stack, and get it deployed very, very quickly. And I'll show you some demos of that in a second. So yeah, just to summarize the accessibility of OpenXAI, you don't need that centralized actor to approve that you get access to AI. So instead of providing your email, credit card, creating a company, providing your address, signing up with terms and conditions, you can actually use a decentralized, permissionless network where you just connect a Web3 wallet to it. You can pay for the services in crypto, which might be US dollar stablecoin, or maybe it's Ethereum or something like that. It's completely decentralized and permissionless, so there's no middleman giving you approval, and everything's on chain. It can be open source as well, so all the code is open source. Now, one of the things with open source is this was a huge disruption about a year ago. When DeepSeek, an open source model, came out, it was a big competitor to ChatGPT, and it actually dropped the stock market price of OpenAI, which is a ChatGPT company in the USA, by like 5.5% or 4.5% at the time. And it was a big disruption to the industry. It was one of the first big open source models that came along. It really tackled the big closed source models that had $50 billion of investment. They came along with like $10 million investment, and we're able to disrupt that by, pulling customers away to their website. People were paying subscriptions over there, and it was very, over 10x cheaper. And this same thing keeps happening every month ever since for the past year. There's always new people, new organizations, companies releasing open source models that try to disrupt some of the big ones. The one right now that's happened in the last 2 weeks is Kimi K2. So that's just another open source model. It's if you look at the benchmark rankings, Kimi K2 is beating ChatGPT 5. So you can take that with a grain of salt. There's still a lot of investigation and analysis to do, but it is looking very good for open source models and the open source AI community. So just to let you know about the developments in the industry. Now, there's two parts of OpenXAI. There's the decentralized network, and then there's the open source cloud software. So the decentralized network takes bare metal. So bare metal is wholesale data center providers. They run millions of servers all around the world. What the bare metal server is essentially a server that doesn't have an operating system or any software on top of it yet. And what that means is you get the servers running in an air-conditioned data center with high uptime and availability, with redundant power, and huge bandwidth fiber links to the internet. And you can rent that at wholesale prices. So you're not paying AWS a huge fee just to use Azure, or sorry, to use like Postgres database. So instead of paying Azure or AWS this huge fee for Postgres database, you can actually just do it on an open source system that runs on top of bare metal hardware. So one of the examples, I did have a client a couple of years ago in Melbourne, Australia. We were setting up a Postgres database. He was paying $2,000 per month for a Postgres database on top of Azure, and it didn't even have working like user base yet. We were just reserving a big beefy database server for this application, and we didn't even have a huge amount of users yet, and we're still paying $2,000 a month for that. Postgres is an open source software stack. You can just import the library for Postgres and run that database on your own computer for free. So why would you pay $2,000 for some centralized cloud provider to do it for you? So what OpenXAI does, it gets rid of that whole middleman stack. Everything's open source. So what we do is run Xnode OS, which is a fork of NixOS, which is Linux distribution. And then we run a whole bunch of software on top of it. All of it's open source, and we can build a cloud stack that doesn't need you to pay thousands of dollars to some middleman. And again, you can pay with crypto to be able to reserve that server and rent it out. And again, it's reaching out to all of those cloud providers. And I'll run through a quick demo of what it looks like as well. So I'll just quickly demo this, and then we can talk through some of the apps that you can build with decentralized AI, and then we'll get into vibe coding. So I know a lot of you guys want to vibe code straight away. So I'll keep running through this as quick as I can. So let's flick over to the studio. So this is an example. Let me just zoom in a bit. Let me know, thumbs up, you can see OpenXAI Studio. So what I'm going to do, I've just gone to studio.openxai.org, and I'm clicking build now. So just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can see that. I'll zoom in a bit more. There we go. So what this is the older version of the studio that's currently running. You can see a whole bunch of open source models, and these AI models, like I said before, there's 2.2 million of them. You can go to Hugging Face and look at the directory. What we've done, we've looked at all the ones that are top quality. They're really powerful, and we can run these on our own servers. So now there's approximately 259 open source AI models you can run. Let's just go with DeepSeek R1. Again, I mentioned that in the chat. We can pick a parameter count, which is just how big the model is, and run that on a server. And what we're doing on the studio here is we're actually going to select this 30-minute free trial server. So we've set up 10 servers pre-deployed, ready for you to test it out. You can actually do it now. Just go to studio.openxai.org and have a play. I just wanted to quickly show you what the decentralized bare metal cloud network looks like. So you can see here, you can scroll through all these different server providers all around the world. They have wholesale prices for all their servers, and you can really get the price down. So instead of paying $2,000 for some wrapped up product from one of the centralized providers, you can just find a hardware provider around the world and do it as cheap as possible. It's literally like Skyscanner for CPU and GPU. It's a directory, you select the cheapest price. But we won't do that now. We'll just use the demo server. Then the other thing Juris mentioned in the previous presentation was Base. So Base is an L2, layer 2 for Ethereum. It makes Ethereum fast and cheap. And the beauty of this is we have a couple of smart contracts that we've made open source. You can actually choose a business model for your application that you want to deploy, the server you're deploying. And what you can do is plug into that smart contract and have a monetization model. So, do you want to have charge, so basically every app that deploys on OpenXAI is wrapped in an NFT. So you can actually sell that AI application that you build on an NFT marketplace. Maybe you sell it for $1,000 because you have like 20 customers all paying you a certain price. The other thing, the beauty of Web3 is you can do microtransactions. So things like pay per use. So maybe you have this crazy TikTok video editor. It adds all these special effects to your selfie, and then you can post that to TikTok. Well, you could actually charge someone 10 cents per use. So you can't do that with normal credit cards and an e-commerce checkout. There's like a minimum fee of like $2 or something for Visa and MasterCard. But with Web3 wallets, you can actually get that price right down and just charge something like 10 cents per use. The more people that use your app, the more viral it gets. You can start making some serious money there as well. But we'll decide later, and we'll skip the wallet, and I'll get this running. So what's happening in the background? I just want to go back to the open source cloud stack. So, yep, we've got decentralized bare metal. It's servers or computers with no software on it. We come along and we start installing software, open source operating system, Linux. The variant is, or the distro is NixOS. That's forked, which is Xnode OS, which is OpenXAI's operating system. Then it picks one of the hundreds of thousands of packages that's available on open source NixOS website. Anything from Python libraries to Next.js libraries to Llama libraries, which is our backend AI model manager. It runs the AI model in the background. One of the other libraries it uses for this app template, which is going to be a chatbot, is OpenWebUI. So that's an open source front end for a chatbot. So when you go to ChatGPT, there's a website. It has a front end chatbot interface. It has a back end model manager. Then there's a bunch of Python or Next.js JavaScript running. And essentially, that's all the software you need to build a lot of cloud applications. So all of that's open source, and none of that is proprietary. If you want a database, again, use something open source like Postgres. All of this is just simple open source stuff that you can just select in a drop down, add it to your application, and build your app. So as you can see, there's no middleman. A lot of this stuff is free and open source. You just have to have the skills and time to be able to use it. What the studio does, OpenXAI Studio does, it just builds a nice interface for you. This studio is fully open source on GitHub. You can run it locally and talk to the bare metal data center provider directly. You don't need us to host it for you. And yeah, you just enter your API key and just work with the bare metal data center provider. So what we do is host this for you as demo. But yeah, this studio is a very powerful tool to get rid of that middleman software that you have to log into, like AWS console. And you can basically use this console to talk to your decentralized bare metal cloud server. So it's nearly finished. We'll just let that complete. And then I can show you some of the logs. And then that'll be the demo finished. We'll just chat to the chatbot, obviously. So yeah, this is the backend terminal. You can sort of see it's running. Let me just click OpenWebUI. This is the front end. So that's installed on the Linux server on NixOS. There's a Llama service that's running in the background of the server. And then there's a model manager. So this is downloading in real time. It's downloaded 4.7 gigs. It just finished. I only started this a minute ago. It's just downloaded 5 gigs onto a data center cloud server. If you were trying to download 5 gigs in some places in Philippines, it might take a bit of time. So this is a fantastic way to use the cheapest wholesale data center servers and not pay a fortune to run your application, and also get around maybe you have some connectivity issues at home. Maybe there's like rain every week and the internet drops or something. So at least you can get your internet server up and running on the internet, put it at a domain that people can go to, and run your app. So this is now finished. So that means we can go to the application. So let's just go here. Thumbs up if you can see OI or a chatbot interface. Yep. So you should now see DeepSeek R1 7 billion parameter model. So hi there. Tell me about the Philippines. Now I'm going to ask some specific questions just to prove that this is not a pre-recorded website or something. So give me some questions. Tell me what area you're living in Philippines. And I'll ask maybe a specific question. It has to be widely known knowledge and probably on Wikipedia for the last 5 years. Yep, give me a good question. A lot of people in Mindanao, some in Manila. A lot of people from Bukidnon. Okay, so let's just total area of Davao City. I'll just explain what's happening here as well. So DeepSeek R1 7 billion parameter model, it's a thinking model. So it does take a bit of time to think through the question of what I've asked. And all it's doing, this is a large language model. It's trained on the Wikipedia data from like, 6 months ago. So it's not going to have the latest data. But this is just an example of all the different, open source models that have been trained in the world. And yeah, I'm just asking it a general question, and then it's running through some of that response. I've given it a very vague general question, but what's happening here is I've got my own private cloud server. Only I have access to this. So the way this works, it's linked to my IP. I click deploy. It's reserved to my terminal on my computer for the next half an hour. And you can see that back on the studio. It says here reserved 23 minutes remaining. We do have 3 people in the call that are deploying their own servers. So fantastic, guys. You're using the OpenXAI Studio and learning about decentralized AI. So congrats. You can run whatever you want on this. You can pick all the different models. You can chat to this chatbot, open source AI model, and ask it questions. Now, the big difference between ChatGPT is you obviously have a centralization risk. You have to agree by their terms and conditions. You have to KYC. You might have to pay with a credit card. And then all the data you give it, you might upload some, university exam questions, and then you're going to try and get some study buddy assistance with an AI. Now, all of that data is actually stored on some other company's server. With this server, it's rented out by you. Only you have access. It's encrypted. And at the end of this half-hour period, it just gets blown away. So this is the demo. Obviously, if you want to have a persistent server, you just pay that wholesale provider. But the whole operating system, it's running, and only you have access. It's actually linked to a wallet. So if you have that NFT in the wallet, that's your access key to be able to talk to it. For the demo, we just restrict it to the IP that deployed it, and then only you have access to it. And then half an hour later, the whole thing gets deleted. So, but this is just a great example of I've built, running a private server. It's running DeepSeek. It's obviously a thinking model, so it's just going through and summarizing. So it did ask, the Philippines is a vibrant archipelago in Southeast Asia, bordered by the Pacific Ocean and Indian Ocean, with Indonesia on the east. Manila is a capital of over 100 million people. In Philippines in general, official languages are English and Spanish. It says here Filipino or Tagalog is widely spoken. So obviously just a general history. This is just Wikipedia information that the model's trained on. You can pick any open source model, not just DeepSeek. So again, you just go to the studio. You can go through the different models. Some models are specialized on just general large language models that are trained on Wikipedia. Others are specifically trained on coding. So like Qwen 2.5 is great at coding. There's other models that are really good at looking at images and figuring out what's on the image. So if you want to build a CCTV analyzing application, it can look at hundreds of images of CCTV footage, figure out if there's a person in there. And there's a model that specifically someone made that looks at CCTV footage, figures out how many people are there, recognizes humans. So that's pretty basic AI, in like developers that build that and they put it out there as open source models. So you've sort of seen all the open source industry, all the models. You've seen how to deploy it. Now, I'll just quickly do a quick, keep running through the presentation, but there is a new studio that's coming out. So this is coming out in the next month. They keep improving that. So this is what the new studio is going to look like. So I've shown you the old version 4 studio. So there's a new studio, and all of these LLM models are going to be listed. But one of the big things is we're working with Base. So we've launched, OpenXAI has launched a token on Base. We can build an app and then launch it in our app store. You can build Base mini apps, launch it in the Base mini app store and the OpenXAI app store, which is called the App Marketplace. You can build AI agents and launch it here as well. And then you can also upload data sets that you can like rent out to other people as well. So there's going to be a whole bunch of cool things that you can build. Now, yeah, you can obviously go through and select different AI models again, similar to before. And there is, this is basically part of how you build an app. And then there's also a marketplace where you can discover all the apps that other people have built. And then essentially, maybe you might pay 10 cents to view that video analyzer, and that person would get the 10 cents. So a lot of cool things coming. Now, what we'll do is just flick back to the slides. Just a quick one to wrap up OpenXAI. If you'd like to work with OpenXAI, what they do, it's a decentralized organization. So the way they do it is they look for merit. So you build something, you build an application, put it on GitHub, build your portfolio up and experience. And that is how you sort of get a work, not just in OpenXAI, but a lot of the Web3 decentralized projects that are out there in the world. They just look at your portfolio on GitHub. Maybe it's your social media profile, the things you've been doing for the past year, and building up a community around development, for example, building applications on GitHub and showing your repo as open source code. And one of the things that OpenXAI do is run hackathons. Now, unfortunately, 2 days ago, the hackathon for Global just closed. So just showing the HackNode dashboard. So this hackathon just finished 2 days ago, but we have been running lots of events, and I'm proud to say we have over 120 participants from the Philippines, part of that global hackathon. So congratulations. We do see quite a few quality projects from the Philippines. Now I'll just flick over to this YouTube link, you can sort of see the different universities we went to over the last 2 months. So yeah, University of Southern Mindanao, USM, CMU, Central Mindanao University. I'm looking at the chat. I'm not getting any people shouting CMU or USM. So we've worked with quite a few government departments as well, just to run vibe coding sessions and yeah, help people in the Philippines build applications using vibe coding. We've got MSU IIT in the chat. No other universities yet. Okay. Yeah, we also went to Assumption College as well in Davao. So yeah, a lot of cool things. The other one that we did, so obviously we had the hackathon. Previously, Australia Hackathon finished, and I just want to show you a quick video, not play it the whole thing. But basically, this got announced yesterday. So yesterday, we announced all the winners of the hackathon in Australia. So you can watch this video on the YouTube link. There's a whole bunch of judges from Microsoft through other Australian companies as well. We had lots of cool projects. So this one's Match and Match. They used AI to build a really cool, here it is. It's a way to find, using AI, matcha coffees in your local area. Then you can chat to discover more information about the menu and where that place is, just through like a mobile website. And maybe you can start chatting to a certain business, just chatting to the information that it has about it. And then from that sentiment of your mood, how you're feeling when you're responding on the chat, it can figure out what to recommend you for a matcha, and then even help organize you to get to that matcha place and order it. So really cool projects that were launched during the Australian hackathon. That's now finished, and that finished over a month ago. The global hackathon that Philippines entered has just finished 2 days ago, and we're already seeing a whole bunch of projects from them. Again, we'll showcase them as well. But yeah, plenty of cool applications that people have built. I just want to give you a couple of ideas about apps you can vibe code. All of these were vibe coded. So these are vibe coded applications. I just want to quickly show, let's pick one here. So this one here, it's all about for uni students again. So it looks at the big shopping chains. Maybe it's like Robinsons and Save More or something. It looks at all the prices for their products. It then obviously stores all that data. It fetches that data, puts it in a database. But then it also uses AI to recommend recipes for uni students based on what influencers are cooking up on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So it can partner influencer recipes using AI with the ingredients and recipes in the local area for the local shops, and then recommend that you go to this shop, buy these ingredients, and you can cook this up tonight after you finish your subject at uni. So really cool. Another use case. So you can see here, it goes through, picks out the pasta, the eggs, the whatever you need. So yeah, have a look at these. They also run through the open source code, how they're using Ollama to run that open source AI model. And yeah, it's a fantastic way to just learn from what other people have been building. And we also announced the winners at the end of this. So what prizes they got. So 2,500 Australian dollars is I don't know, a lot of pesos. So someone can do that calculation. If you can do that calculation, put it in the chat. 2,500 Australian dollars. So that's some of the prizes they got for building a vibe coding app, not just in like 10 minutes, but they spent like a month or two building this. and they build a high quality application. So a lot of great opportunities. So check that out. And I'm just trying to motivate you and give you ideas. Again, all of these workshops are on YouTube. So yeah, it's close to 100,000 pesos they won from this hackathon event. So fantastic. And they're uni students. So, they literally were at uni when they were calling in for the winners announcement call yesterday. So they were at uni doing exam week in Australia. So now there's plenty of resources. Obviously, myself doing mentoring. I live in the Philippines and work out of Davao. And I have met and visited a lot of universities here. There's also, community dashboards, there's workshops, a lot of tooling and things like that. The other one we want to talk about is Base Mini Apps. So we did listen to Base presentation from Juris. So Base Mini Apps is essentially a really cool templated app that you can easily vibe code. It's web-based. It connects up to the Base wallet, and then there's distribution. So you come up with an app idea, it can get put out onto different marketplaces, like the Base wallet marketplace, but also the OpenXAI marketplace. Obviously, they're just like iPhone apps, but more decentralized. They connect to a Web3 wallet. There's plenty of different, categories or genres of different apps that you can build. Some ideas I've listed here. And then the other one, I just want to quickly play this video. I might just switch over to this screen and hit play. You should have audio. It's just music. Okay, great. So I don't know if you guys read that, but basically in 2 days' time, on the 20th of November, there is a new, like a mini hackathon. It's called the Base Mini App Factory Competition, where you literally vibe code and then you can win prizes of within a prize pool of $5,000. But basically, you can launch simplified apps just using text, and then you can deploy that, and it all happens automatically in the Base Mini App Factory app. So just letting you know that you can go to the website and sign up for that. Here's the link. There is a wait list, so you join up to the wait list, then you can actually get access when it opens in a couple of days. So that's just a very simple high-level overview of OpenXAI. So yeah, have a look at the different links I've put up here. This just takes you to the Hacknode dashboard. Again, there's all of these open source projects that people have built. You can just look at the code and try and understand how they were built, and use that to help you build your app. And now we'll get into vibe coding. So I'm just going to share another screen. And today we're going to run through basically Cursor. So Cursor is a software development tool. It's an IDE where you can basically use this application that runs on Mac, Windows, and Linux. So let us know if what your computer is. Is it Mac, Windows, or Linux? We've got a few Windows users here. Fantastic. So it is supported there. You just go to cursor.ai and download it. I'm going to try and share this screen. So here it is. Very basic. When I've just opened up a whole new folder with nothing in it. I'm literally giving you the bare bones from scratch how to use Cursor. So what we've done is we've opened up a new directory called DICT demo. And what I'm going to do So there is a free tier for Cursor. So it does give you a limited amount of access. So what it does, there's always an AI chatbot screen on the right, and it gives you access to free models. Now you can select auto, and what it does with the free tier, it just lets you use the free tier, and you can always use the older models. So they might not be the latest frontier models, but basically you always have an older model that you can use to help vibe code your app. But really, you should be learning, if you're computer science students and IT, is learning this, the code that it's creating. And I'll just run through a quick demo. So what I want to do is build a new website using, let's choose the technology. So Next.js or JavaScript. And on the front page, just have white page with hello world on it. So centered. So we're going to ask Cursor, the AI, to start building this. And really, I'm just demoing how this works. So let me explain it. And what it's going to do, it's actually going to install everything I need to run this website on my own computer, and then I can share the website output as well. So this is Cursor version 2. It just came out. Now, if you click, so when you obviously open up a folder, so I've created a new folder on my computer, and then I've started a prompt where I'm building a website, and I'm just letting it do its thing. So it has full access to the terminal or command line. It can run commands on my behalf. And what it's doing, it's just setting up Next.js. So Next.js, you can create a new application with a command, npx create next app, and then it just goes off, creates all the folder scaffolding and structure of a JavaScript application. It builds out all these files using that command. So it's not using AI for everything. It's using commands that talk to software libraries that it imports, and then it uses Next.js for this example to build out a website. Very basic website. It's just going to say hello world. It then looks at the directory. It has access to all the files. So Cursor can see all the files created. It then starts editing the files. After Next.js runs its thing, it's going to edit the files and update it to however we want it. So let me click that and open up this file. This is a code file called page.tsx, which is essentially the front page of a Next.js website. And what it's done here, it's took the template, it's deleted all of that. It's then put a basic home function and then some basic HTML and CSS or cascading style sheets or styling to display hello world in a centered position. So we can review that code, and I've approved it. And I can also reject it and change it myself or ask AI to change it for me. But what I've done, I've just selected keep all or approve. And now we can like run this. So please run this locally. So I'm going to run this web server locally on my own computer. It'll say something like npm run dev as a command. I don't have to type that command. I just talk to the AI. I don't have to type any code. I just talk to the AI. So I'm using Cursor. So let me just drop that link in the chat so you guys can download that as well. You know, it's going to take a while to download, so you don't have to do it right now. Okay, so cursor.com is the link. And I'll just put that in the chat so everyone can see. I've got some questions about, where am I? Oh yeah, back on Cursor. Okay, so it's now running at localhost 3000. Like 3 weeks ago, I would have gone to my browser, but Cursor 2 just came out. So now it has an internal browser. So all I have to do when Cursor 2 came out like 3 weeks ago is select this button, hit Browser tab. I now have a local browser running, and it says here I have to go to localhost port 3000. So let me just have a look at this. I don't think it's running at that link. So let me just check again. Let's have a look here. Please run. Please run again and check it's correct website at that port. I think I have something else running back from a couple of hours ago. So I'll just make sure that it's running at the correct port. Use your internal browser to confirm it is running locally. So now it has an internal browser. You can just talk to the chat, and it can actually do a whole heap of things with that internal browser now. So it's really cool. So as you can see, it's navigating to localhost 3000. It's going to check, it's going to scrape or grab all the source code of the website it loads and figure out, is this the right website based on the code that I have access to, or is something running in the background? It's going to kill that service and then rerun it. So let's see, or it might run it on a new port. But the key thing is here, I never touch the code. I never go to command prompt and type commands. I'm just talking in a human language to an AI chatbot, which is Cursor, and it's able to start figuring out these problems. So let's see. Restart browser. Let's have a look. And if it does get stuck, I'll just go through the UI here. So there is a stop button. You can wait for it to time out. But let's just stop it. Please kill all services running and run this locally. I can add typos. It doesn't matter. The AI can figure it out. And basically, you just keep asking it to run it locally. And in a few seconds, we'll have something displaying. And I'm showing you how it works. So you can see here, I talk in a prompt. It then thinks about it. So I can actually view, like we did for DeepSeek before, I can actually display what it's thinking about. So it's saying preparing to use the browser tool. It then uses the browser tool. I then gave it another prompt, and it's run a few commands. So these are all bug fixing things. 2 years ago, it would have sucked. It would have spent like half an hour trying to figure out, there's something else running in the background. Do I have to kill it? Do I have to run it on a new port? It's gone through. It's just done all that by itself, and then reran the code, reran the command to run Next.js, and then it's captured a screenshot of the internal browser tool, and it's figured out, yep, this is the right website, and it can do all of that. So it can read the commands if there's bugs and errors. It can also view the website that you're building in an internal browser tool. And all of this stuff happened obviously in the last 2 years. So if you go back like over a year ago, you would have used ChatGPT. You would have been typing in one browser terminal if you wanted to vibe code, and then say, build me a website for a small business that is a mechanic for cars. And then it would go off and create this website. Then you'd have to copy paste that code, put it in your IDE or your code editor application, save it, run it, have a bunch of bugs, all these build errors, copy paste the error, take it back to ChatGPT, paste it in their website. And the whole process used to take a long time. Before ChatGPT, a web developer would have had to have copy pasted, looked on Google, gone to Stack Overflow, looked at the error message, try and fix the build error. All of this crap is now finished. We don't have to do any of that now when you're trying to build a simple website. Um, you can do all of this through vibe coding, just using AI-powered tooling like Cursor. So very quick turnaround if you're trying to build a MVP for a startup. Maybe it's a website or an app you want to build for a hackathon. Maybe it's just a dashboard that you want to show the boss at work. I did show you the hackathon dashboard before. This is made up of, say, 3 spreadsheets, CSV files, and I just shoved that into a directory on my computer, use Cursor, and build a whole dashboard from those spreadsheets. And that's a website. It's an interactive dashboard that you can use at home to look at the hackathon results. So that is an example of a vibe-coded app. The other examples I showed you are all the Australia Hackathon winners. So just look at the YouTube video. And those people, there's literally a YouTube video just like this one of me helping those people install Cursor on their computer 2 months ago. Then they were able to go through and win 2,500 Australian dollars or 99,000 pesos or something. So, the power of vibe coding is shown here just in the story of the different people building things. And now hopefully you get this tool and build cool things yourself. So who wants to give me an idea of what you want to build? So I'll give you a couple of minutes just to drop an idea. Maybe you want to build a small business website for someone that runs a shop locally. Maybe you want to, on a previous workshop, we built a little game where you flip Pokemon cards. So just let me know what you want to build. Okay, a learning management system. So while I wait for people to come up with ideas of what you want to vibe code today, I'll show you a learning management system I've been building for the last couple of days. So I was meant to show it before, but let me just show it now. So I'm just sharing my screen, just switching topic. So we are building, again, through Cursor, a community site where you can actually learn, build, and earn. So all of these things that we're teaching in workshops are repeatable. You don't have to attend every workshop every week. So what we want to do is create all of these as courses that you guys can access for free. So all the basic courses are free. There is obviously a charge for some of these other courses, just in the tokens that you can earn just participating in the OpenXAI community. Obviously, these aren't correct prices. A lot of that's coming soon. What we do have, and this is something that we did talk about installing a Web3 wallet. So give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you have a Web3 wallet at home. So have you installed an app on your phone that's MetaMask or Base or Phantom, Solflare? Or have you installed the Chrome extension on your web browser at home? Has anyone got a Web3 wallet? If not, there is a free course. You don't have to connect your wallet, obviously, to learn how to do this course. You can just go to community.openxai.org, getting started in Web3. You can check that out. I'll put the link in the chat. And what it does, we will be introducing NFT certificates just for the courses on OpenXAI. But yeah, basically you can learn about Web3 and how to get a wallet. So this is like the first stage of entering Web3 is to get a wallet. This serves as your identity. It's a public key. It's like a big hash, a random string of numbers and letters. And that's how the blockchain identifies you as a user connecting a wallet. There's no name, there's no email, there's no address or anything like that for KYC in Web3. You just connect your wallet. The important thing is to have the wallet, and the wallet is actually what enables you to store assets and value inside something that only you control. You have the private key. It's running on your phone. It's running, you write down the little code, the passphrase, and you can store that. No one else has access to your little wallet. Within that is what you store NFTs, which could be a education certificate like this, or it could be like 1 Bitcoin that you might have in your wallet. So it's a store of value. It's a way to store that value inside of a Web3 wallet. And it's also your passport to be able to enter Web3 world. So make sure you get one of these installed. We've created a course so you can like start running through the basics of Web3. So start learning. Then you just start running through, and we'll make this better and better over time. We'll be creating lots of different courses and guides for you to learn. There's also different types of wallets like Reown, which is what the website uses, MetaMask, and then the big one that we want to talk about is Base. So we've created basically a 45-minute course. Really, it's just going through the different YouTube videos that Base has created for their wallet system called Base Wallet. And we just, let you go through in your own time, watching those videos. It then figures out if you watched it or not. And then you can obviously learn some more about Base Wallet, and then go through to the next one. You can't proceed to the next quiz at the end until you actually watch all the videos. And then here it's got a quiz where you can actually get tested against all those items. So we're creating a whole bunch of free learning management for you. It'll teach you everything from installing a wallet, eventually to using decentralized AI, vibe coding, building apps, building Base mini apps, and eventually maybe smart contract development. But we're not focused on that just yet. We're just really looking at smart contract, using smart contracts that OpenX AI provides, which are open source. You're just vibe coding an app and plugging into it. So that's the beauty of OpenX AI. So yeah, have a look at those. One free course at the moment. We'll be releasing more free courses, and we'll make this a lot better. We do have discussion forums, which are closed at the moment, but you can read through all the different discussion forums and participate there. And yeah, please have a look at that. Once we enable this, it's coming out of beta soon. You can connect your wallet and join up and create a little profile there. So check that out. Someone just mentioned I should vibe code a learning management system, an LMS, and I am already. So let's go back to Cursor. If I can find it. So let me just find it. I'll just stop sharing. I don't see it. So okay, here it is. So we're back to the vibe coding app. Let's have a look at what people want to build. So we've got a whole bunch of complex apps. Let's just start with something simple. Learning management system, file archiving system, a simple document tracker, a business website where I can track all the inventory with specific code in each product. So that sounds like a pretty cool one. So let's build a business website where you can track all the inventory. It sounds like an e-commerce website. So what I'm going to do, I'm just pasting what Ashley said in the chat. You should see the cursor window now. I'll just scroll down again, and we're going to build it. So let's start with what you want. So a business. Okay, so let's. Woo. let's build the following a business website where you can track all inventory with specific code in each product. Now, you haven't mentioned where these product data is coming from. So what we'll do is just we'll just ask AI to find some, and maybe it can generate mock data for now. But essentially what you could do is just upload a spreadsheet with all the product items in it, and then you just upload it in. So let me just try and quickly go on a website. I know this is possible. So spreadsheet with product data in it. Let's see if I can find one just quickly. If not, maybe you can send one over. So I'll just get some simple data. I think I'm going to have to just vibe code some mock data for now. But basically, I get it. You could probably work in a small business. Please mock up this data for a, let's say, what do we want to do? Cupcake stand or mechanics? Let's go with mechanics. For a mechanics workshop, they service cars and display the products they sell, services, and also show their back-end inventory, which is all the replacement nuts and bolts, tires, everything. This business website is for transparent for B2B and customers. So I'm just trying to create a website that's simple, but it displays everything from what you can buy from the business on the front end as a customer, also showing like business to business, like all the inventory that they get, the oil that people would use in the back end of the business, and they'd be purchasing it from suppliers and things. So we'll just try and do a little mix, not just a normal splash page with a mechanic website, but something that shows a bit of the things that customers use and that the people, the staff use as well. Just to try and give you a good example. So what it's doing, it's someone asked about different agents. So let's go into what agents are. So AI agents, what they are is it's taking an AI model. So I talked about DeepSeek or ChatGPT, GPT-5, Grok, different AI models, but it's not just asking it a question and then getting a simple answer. An AI agent takes a question, it then comes up with a 10-step to-do plan on how to achieve that goal, and then it's able to carry out that goal by going through all the 10 steps in the list, and then at each step revisiting, is it achieving its goal? If it gets off path, it can actually go back and keep achieving the goal, the to-do list, until it achieves the ultimate goal, which is to build a website that's all about a mechanic workshop, and it's already done it already. So you can see here, we've built a basic, looks like a single page website. It's got a service, section or div. It's basically listing all the products that it has on their site. It's got some of the products, like a B2B catalog. If you want to purchase those items directly, like a spark plug, $96.45 in stock. So very simple. You can tell this is vibe coded because it's just looks simple without minimal design. And really, this is very easy to change. So here's some of the back end information shared with partners. And this goes back to what the the prompt actually wanted, the person wanted. So a list of inventory codes with the different product parts, and then how many is in stock. And this could be as simple as taking a spreadsheet and just dumping it into Cursor and then building a website out of it. And, you know, kind of like, what's the point? You could just give someone the spreadsheet. Well, this provides a way for you to publish it. People in other businesses, or maybe your customers, can come to your website and interact with this website and look through the different products. So let's try and expand this. So let's use PHP instead of dollars. Obviously, this is a Philippines website. Create subpages. Please expand everything so it has more detail and is more interactive. So this is a very basic prompt. I'm just trying to get it to fill out so it's more of a small business website. Normally, small business websites have a title. There's 5 pages in a header. There's like whatever product and services they're offering, a call to action to buy now. So yeah, let's expand it first, and then we'll sort of tailor it into a website. Now, 3 years ago, yeah, you would have, I don't know, maybe charged a couple of $100, or I don't know, few 10,000 pesos to build a website like this. Now you can vibe code it very quickly. That has 2 effects. So the price for a simple website would go down because more people can supply that website as a service, because it is a lot easier to build websites. So the price goes down that you can charge for that. But what that means is you can build a lot more complex websites using a tool like this. I've only just started making it for 10 minutes, but anyone here can now build websites like this, get something down on paper or created, and then start showing your boss, start showing a customer, start basically building up a prototype in the background. So, and literally this is an AI agent that's going through that multiple steps. 4 in this case. It's achieving the goal, and I can literally go get a coffee while it's vibe coding. So I type in the prompt, come up with as much of the best idea as possible. And I would explain this as well. So instead of just being very vague with your first prompt, try to think out the plan of, this is the whole website. I want to have 4 pages. I want it to be a website about the mechanic, business to business, and the customer. I want to have different sections. I want to have pictures. Maybe you have some pictures. And all you need to do, because I've just created basically a folder on my computer, all I need to do is drop some photos or pictures in of the different products or the different images I want on the website. The AI model can look at the images and figure out, this is a mechanic holding a spanner. I'm going to put that on the front page. And the other thing you can do is drop the product inventory spreadsheet into the folder, and then use this application called Cursor to then build off a whole website around those documents. So I've just asked it to make this a bit more complex. It's taking a bit of time. It's doing some edits. So let's have a look. So it's added all these different products information that it's mock data. And I can actually approve or delete or cancel all these different code updates. I can do it one by one. So yeah, I want to keep this product section, but maybe I want to reject this bottom section, but let's accept it anyway. Or I can just keep all, or undo or reject all. So we're going to keep it. It's also editing multiple pages now. So I'm not just a simple website with 1 page. I've added 4 pages. So it's going to start adding different pages. So let it let it keep doing that. Let's go back to the preview. So you can see here it's starting to look a lot better. And I've built different pages. So yeah, I can click from the home page to the services page, which is more what is the customer going to buy off me. I can book, this is what it's aiming for. I can book a service for my car. I can book a time, like in a calendar. I can like purchase it. And then there's also an e-commerce sort of section where I can like look through different products. It's nearly finished, but it's already created the different sub pages. I can also look at the inventory. So this is spreadsheet data now. So it's looking at all the different product codes, SKUs. It's got an inventory table for all the different products and where it is in my business and how many products are in stock. And then like when was the last time it was checked and what's the status. And I can even download as CSV. Let's see if that works. No, but you can see here it's looking at that and going, yeah, this is a spreadsheet. I'll let the person download as a CSV. So it's pretty much, and you can see here it's updating the code in real time. So I'm just going to go hands off. It's caused an error, and it will know that it's caused an error and fix the error. So don't worry. So it's now running that. It's updating the code. It's changing it. It's throwing an error, and it's just going through updating all the different parts of the website. So let it do its thing. I'll just answer some more questions as it's loading. So one of the questions is it good for a backend? So yes, you can hook it up to a database. Node.js or JavaScript has a client side and a server side, which means it has a front end and a back end. So you can actually build a back end that connects to a database. Like I said, use Postgres, open source. You can run it locally. I run mine locally with Docker. If you deploy an OpenXAI, it's a very simple one-line script to spin up a database on NixOS, and then it will run that as well on the cloud server. But yeah, if you're running locally, you can run it on your own computer. When you go to deploy, you can deploy, if it's just a simple website, it is very easy to deploy to Vercel, which is a front-end sort of hosting site. With OpenXAI, I'd more target AI applications. And yeah, let's finish this demo. And what I will show you is another demo I've been building, which is a bit more complex, which does have spreadsheet data. And I really wanted to show you more the interactive dashboard or the data science or graphing data. That's pretty cool stuff as well. But that's the next demo. Just let me know, MJ, how I'm doing for time. I'll try and wrap it up shortly. If not, I'll just keep going. Okay, so yeah, it's nearly finished. It's figured out there was an error, as you can see, and it's fixed that error. It obviously hasn't finished yet, so now that it's finished, it's checking on the local browser. It's navigating around the website, testing out the navigation all by itself. And this is another thing, you can automate tests as well. So you might have a website that you want to automate testing. You used to have to use an external service that you'd pay money for. Now you can actually do it all through Cursor, like a ghost testing service. And then you can do all this testing now locally as well for using Cursor. So yeah, it's just done a summary. It's done some testing. It's fixed that bug where it sort of had a little error. It's edited 5 files. So there's a layout file. And then there's also 4 different web pages. You can see here there's a services page, there's a products page, which I already showed you, and it's gone through and created all of those. So let's keep all that and just do a quick check of what it looks like. So yeah, we do have this, you know, all these different cool aspects of the website, pretty much same as what I showed you before. You can hook it up to databases, you can hook it up to APIs. It's literally code, so you can edit it to do whatever you want. And that concludes the first demo. So yeah, one of the good hot tips. So when you're using Cursor, if you're using the free version, they only give you like a handful of prompts per month. I think it's like 20 or 50. So try and use that sparingly if you want to use the powerful models. So like I said, maybe type out the whole prompt in the document first, then paste that into the Cursor AI chatbot, then hit go, and that's like one of the prompts. So it can check through how many prompts. It might check how many tokens you use. So just be wary of that. Don't have a huge prompt, just try and be concise. And it will go off and build all the pages so you're not going back and forth talking to the chatbot. So yeah, this is a good example. I'll flick over to the next example. So let me share a different screen. So one of the ones that I'm kind of passionate about at the moment is looking at all the different, so I'm just showing you a different cursor screen. Let me know if you can see something else now on the chat. So I'm building a little transparency dashboard. This should be running in the background. So let me just check. I did kill it before when I was trying to run the other website. So let me just run it again. So now this is running on localhost 3001. So localhost, let me just zoom in a bit. So basically the Philippines government has two initiatives. So there's a transparency seal where every government department must declare their financial records. And that's a government initiative. It's out in the open. What they're trying to do is bring more transparency to government departments and where the money is going. The other one is the Department of Budget and Management. They have a blockchain initiative where they're verifying the documents on the blockchain to make sure they're legit, they haven't been tampered with or edited. So these are some of the other issues with money being missing. So what I've been able to build just by going to any of these websites. So let me just show you what I'm talking about first. So if I go to say, is it usm.edu.ph? Let's see if I get that right. So yeah, one of the universities we went to and gave a workshop for, they obviously sort of a government-funded university. They have, as a government entity, have transparency seal, and one of the vibe coding hackathon sort of goals was to look at this data. So what is a transparency seal? It's a way to actually display all these PDFs of financial records. So when an entity has the transparency seal, it's saying that they publish all their financial reports publicly that anyone can download. So I obviously downloaded this using AI because it's too hard to do manually, using Cursor. So I'm just trying to zoom in here. Let me just zoom in. No. Hopefully you can see the screen size anyway. And just confirming, you can see transparency seal on the screen share. Give me a thumbs up. So once you get AI to download some of that, which is like a scraper, I can then basically build a website that displays all that data. So let's go to USM. So what we can do here, we've built a And this is literally just vibe coding, just like I did before. I created a new folder. I downloaded some PDFs. I converted them into readable text, like a CSV file. And then I used AI and a database to store it. And then I'm able to pull down, let's go to USM, pull down all that data and store it in a database that the AI can look at. And then I can display like, the last, budget in the last financial year. I can build a cool interactive dashboard. So let's show you what that looks like. So, interactive basically means I can like turn off an element of data like disbursements. I can show allocation of data or not. I can change the range of the database. So it's editing what is filtering what data is showing on the graph. And you might be wondering, what's the point of this? So if I go to the PDFs, and I won't do it now, but it's the most boring PDF of transparent financial data. It's just a table with hundreds of rows of data and dollar figures. It's very difficult for a human to read it. If I was making a YouTube stream, you get bored and fall asleep and go watch something else. So this is the same if you're presenting it in a meeting at work or at a university lecture, or maybe you've got an assignment due. And instead of presenting a bunch of tabular data or a big spreadsheet, you can actually just talk to AI and ask it to generate a website that displays that data in an interactive chart. And there's open source libraries like Chart.js or different ones like that. ShadCN is another one, really good. So you can use these open source libraries for charting and graphs and build really cool interactive dashboards that really explain the data for you. And then you can present it. So you can use vibe coding, build your interactive dashboard, takes a lot of data, present it at work, present it at uni for your assignment. A lot of assignments at university, you have to present a video. So this is a fantastic thing that you can run locally, build a cool little web page that displays data and show that in your application assignment. Yeah, so it obviously displays, all the different breakdown of different financial models. And it's taking, as you can see on the left, hundreds of PDF files full of data. Let's see if it displays. No, I don't think it's going to display. Yeah, it's not displaying the PDF. Maybe let me just install a PDF viewer quickly. If it works, VS Code PDF, there you go. So it's all free. I got to log in, so don't worry about it. So I won't install that just yet, but yeah, let me go back to the file viewer, just check again. Yeah, it did work. It just had a little error. Okay, so here's the actual boring financial data. So this is similar to the mechanics workshop inventory list. There's like inventory product codes, but in this case, it's government financial data document identifiers. And then also how much each transaction, how much each project was funded by the government. This is what this shows. So we can actually pull that data for different universities, different government departments. I haven't pulled the one for the Department of Roads and Highways, but I will. And then you can build like all these cool little, dashboards where you can display all that data. So I'm just trying to find where all the data is. There's more data here. Oh, it's in the data file folder. So for USM, there's all these financial records. Apologies, I can't zoom in a bit. Let me just try and zoom in a bit. So view, it's not letting me show that. But anyway, so each year, financial year 2022, financial year 2025, I can go through, download all this data. The AI can't read the PDF, but it can look at images of the PDF, which is called OCR, optical character recognition. And Cursor can just install the library of code to OCR all these PDFs, ingest it, put the data in a database, and then once the database is populated with all this PDF data, it can then build this website using vibe coding and display all the data. So other cool things that we can do, because AI is running locally. I've mentioned Ollama is running locally on my computer. It's running on that cloud server. I can actually build really cool AI features into the website. So I just want to quickly show you this, and then I can wrap it up. So I think I've got Ollama running in the background. If not, I'll just try and display something here. So this is a chatbot that I have running on the side. Hopefully it works. I haven't tested it just yet. So let's see if it works. So I'll just say, tell me about USM. If there's an error, I can use vibe coding to fix it. All part of the demo. So let's see if it's working. Okay. Okay. So it's come up with a response from the chatbot, but it's not a good one. It's just saying I can't do that at the moment. Let me just check that it is running in the background. Looks like it is. So please test. Ollama is running in background, and that this app can access it. So what I'm showing is the next level. So not just building data science dashboards and websites from data and helping you collect all the data. Here it is. It's just started to work. So every time I hover over the graph, AI automatically pops up, analyzes all the financial data for that data point on the graph, and then gives me a little explanation of what's happening in that year. So if I was giving a presentation, I don't even need to spend time analyzing the data myself. I can use AI as a study buddy to help me explain the data, and then I can present it and basically read what I'm seeing here, or maybe remember that as dot points in my head and talk about it. So, there's a lot of cool things you can do. And then also, if you want to ask more questions, tell me about USM data 2025. I don't know why it's not working. I can fix this. But basically, I just chat to the chatbot in Cursor to help me build the app and fix it. And then over on the left, I'm building an AI app that's a public website. I'll probably host it at a certain domain, and then people will be able to use AI to interpret the data as well. So a lot of cool things you can do. It's just saying it doesn't have access to some of the data. It's probably a database issue. I'll have to look into it. But yeah, obviously it's got the data to display and plot it. So it's mostly working at the moment. So yeah, this is an example of probably a more complex app taking in all the public data from the Philippines government departments and then displaying it on a easy to understand website dashboard that's interactive. But also I can use AI in the website to go the next level and let people talk to the AI and explain the data. Where did all this missing money go? Things like that. So yeah, that's some of the initiatives you can do with AI. That's open source. It's all on my computer locally. I can deploy it on my own server. And then the other thing, instead of paying ChatGPT all this money every time it calls ChatGPT, this might cost like maybe 30 cents a call or maybe 5 cents a call. Because I'm running that locally on my computer or running it on my cloud server, as you could see before, it might cost $5 a month for that cloud server. That's a fixed cost. I'm limited by the CPU and GPU of that server. Once I pay $5 a month, I'm not getting charged per call. So it's literally just me managing my servers, how much compute it is. I can restrict how many users coming in using it and try and blend it out a bit. So if I have too many users, I can say, come back in 5 minutes. But basically, I'm just paying $5 a month for the app to be running with an AI enabled services in the back end. So yeah, this is an example of an app that you can build. And I've given you a few examples, and I will wrap up there basically. So that's an example of how to use Cursor for vibe coding, how to build a basic Hello World website, how to build a small business website for a mechanic, and then how to use Cursor AI to analyze sort of data science activities. So pulling data from public sources, converting it into usable data from PDFs, displaying it in interactive dashboards, and then using AI on top of the website to make it even more interactive for users. So cool. Let's go to question time. I've finished. I'll stop sharing. So thank you very much, everyone. Let me know if there's any questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir John, for that presentation. So, at this point, we would be catering some questions if you have for our resource speaker. You can now chat it in our chat box and we will endorse it to our resource person. And please allow us to present. All right, we have a first question, Sir John. They are asking if there is a free AI for vibe coding.
Yeah, so there is free AI for vibe coding. I've created a YouTube video like 2 weeks ago about this. So trying to hook up VS Code to a Llama running locally using open source AI. It did work. I could build a basic website. It wasn't the best. Like Cursor's still in front of the sort of open source vibe coding apps. Um, Now, there's a whole bunch of other type of apps like Lovable, but the problem is all that data is stored on their servers. They do release some of the code for you to use and pull out and run somewhere else, but essentially you're sort of stuck in that centralization issue. Ideally, you have everything running locally on your computer, or you have a server that you rent wholesale and you're in full control of that web server. And yeah, that's the ideal situation where you control everything. You're not paying all these silly fees per call. You're just paying $5 for a web server, and then you can use that as much or as little as you want, and it's all private data that you control. So yeah, there is solutions. They're not as good as say Cursor at the moment, but I am hopeful that that is improving, and I'll keep creating little videos, testing it out, and letting you guys know. So,
All right, thank you so much, Sir John. And the next question we have here is, what would you prefer for a capstone? I believe from Sir Jose.
is that a capstone for a university like course using vibe coding or?
I believe it's for a university, sir.
Yeah, so I guess similar to a hackathon, check out those videos of all the different teams, and they're literally just students that built apps. Um, they obviously spent like a capstone at the end of your degree, you'd spend I don't know, like 3 months working on it. So again, come up with a way to design your app, build it out and really design it well and spend a couple of months improving it. The main thing with vibe coding is you can get started in like 10 minutes. You just need that quick idea. Yeah, it might take longer, but at least if you don't have a full plan detailed in your head and you haven't written it down, then just start using AI to help get you started. And you can get to a very minimum viable product or prototype very quickly. If it's a capstone assignment project, obviously you'd spend time writing an essay or designing this a lot better. And then you can use AI to help build a prototype. And again, you know, it might not be something that you host publicly and build a business out of in a hackathon example, or you're trying to win a hackathon prize. If it's a capstone, maybe you have a whole bunch of environmental data for I don't know, plastic pollution in around the Philippines, and it's just huge and it's just too hard. You can use Cursor AI to start all. You can just drop all those files, the export dumped PDFs, into a folder on your computer, and then just tell Cursor to start reading all of it, organize it into subfolders by date and time, maybe by category, and then start building whatever the capstone project is. Maybe it is an interactive dashboard that displays that. Maybe it is a business idea. Maybe it's just a research project where you want to try and find the valuable insight from that data. So you can certainly use AI to help you there. So yeah, that's where I'd recommend how you use Cursor AI for capstone projects.
All right, thank you so much. And another question we have, quick question about the discussions in the Open X AI platform. Do you have a timeline when it will be open?
Yeah, so we just closed it 2 days ago and we're migrating to our own internally built site. So we were using open source software called Discourse. But yeah, we do have a community forums. We do have a Telegram channel and Discord, one Discord for the community, one Discord for builders. So make sure you join the right one. It's on the hacknode.openxai.org dashboard link at the top right. The forum will open up soon. We're just making sure that people can connect their wallet and build a little profile, and then we'll reopen that. We're just migrating. We have migrated that data from Discourse, and it is all there. You can publicly view it, and that's at community.openxai.org. So yeah, we'll get to that shortly, and we do have a whole vibe coding sort of platform called the Base Mini App Factory launching in 2 days as well. So after that bit of work's done, we'll probably reopen the forums for you. So it won't be long.
Okay, so I believe we have a few more questions to cater. So next question, most of the vibe coding platforms have character limits, prompt limits. So what can you suggest we do that can maximize our output based on those limits?
Yeah, so that's a good point. It sort of reinforces what I said before. There's always limits when it's a centralized provider, big tech. They give you a free tier. Maybe it sort of runs for like, I don't know, like 2 days out of the month, and you use up the free tier because you're typing so much. And then you have to go to a paid tier. The biggest mission for OpenXAI is to run all this using open source, locally controlled, software. So what I would recommend is just installing Llama. So you just go to llama.com and you can download and install Llama. You can also install Open Web UI and have a whole chatbot running locally. There is a chatbot that's very simple for llama.com. If you download that, it'll run the model locally on your computer. But if you do like to be able to upload lots of PDF files, you can either use Cursor or you can just use Open Web UI, which is the demo at the start of this workshop. That allows RAG, which is like a vector database that stores PDF upload data into a database that the AI model can reference. It can then search through the vector database, vector store, and basically use the data you upload to respond in a smarter way. So you can build and run AI chatbots locally on your own computer, and literally you can use that infinitely. limited by the CPU memory storage of your own computer. So you've obviously spent money buying the hardware, and that's all you need to run AI, is running that hardware locally. Um, you shouldn't have to pay per thousand users or any of this other stuff. You can do all this stuff yourself. If you're a computer science student, I get it, you can do that. A lot of other people find it hard. OpenXAI is trying to simplify that a lot. So hopefully, yeah, you can do everything open source and run it locally. And that's a way to get out of the premium charges.
Okay, so following question, what model can you recommend if you're going to use open source model?
Yeah, so if you want slow response, DeepSeek R1 is pretty good. If you like quicker response, Llama 3.2 or 3.3 is really good. That's by Facebook, one of the big tech companies, but Mark recommends, they have historically contributed to open source frameworks like JavaScript frameworks like React. They've also contributed to open source AI. So they've provided Llama models, not Ollama, which is the model manager that you can run on your local computer, but Llama 3.2, 3.3. So that's a really good model. That's my go-to if you just want a quick chatbot response. If you want more slower thinking responses, DeepSeek's really good as well. It really depends on how big your computer specs are. So if you have a GPU, like a gaming computer, you can run a lot more powerful AI, because AI loves to run on GPUs, which is like parallel processing. So yeah, you can run the bigger models as well on a desktop. If you have a little laptop, like a little MacBook or something, there are smaller models as well. And the beauty with open source AI, like I said, there's 2.2 million models out there. There's directories that show you on Hugging Face. We've only shown you the best ones on OpenXAI. But basically, anything you could think of, there's like text to speech models. If you want to type some text and build a little app that translates it into um, different Tagalog or dialects of the Philippines. I think it's Wairo or something. I don't know. Maybe someone could correct me. There's Cebuano, Bisaya, Tagalog, but there is even a model, because I looked this up. I was trying to build a language learning app, and there's a specific model that converts from Tagalog into these not as popular dialects around the Philippines. So everything you can think of, CCTV models that analyze CCTV footage, language models for human language, image generation if you want to generate images in Ghibli format or whatever. So, there's everything you can think of, there's a model for it, and that's the beauty of open source AI. So try and run everything locally, and you can get the costs right down.
Okay, thank you so much. And next question we have, what are the basics you need to learn before you start the vibe coding?
Yeah, so there's not really too much. Vibe coding is literally just you typing text into the AI chatbot. So you could even start with opening up Cursor and just start from there without watching this video or being in this workshop. You can just say, what is this Cursor application? It will tell you what it is. And then you can say, what can I do with this chatbot in Cursor? And it will tell you what you can build. Obviously, I took you to let's start with building a JavaScript website with Hello World. And it just went through and did that. And there's no barrier of entry. You can start at 0 and then slowly work with the AI study buddy, I call it, where it helps you and teaches you as you go. And obviously, you built a JavaScript website. Once it's done and it's running, you can actually go back and go, hey, AI, can you explain to me what happened step by step? And it will go through and say it ran npx command to generate a new React app, and it will explain what React is and what the command was. and all the files that it generated. And you can just literally learn with AI as a study buddy next to you, like a mentor. And it's a fantastic way to learn anything in the world at the moment. What I would say, and just to put a little cap on that, is always verify AI. So AI does have hallucinations. Maybe the AI model isn't trained on all data. So it might pattern match and just come up with hallucinations or just make things up in between. So always verify the source of where the data comes from. And that's exactly what I showed you with the last demo. I'm taking source documents from government websites. I'm not asking AI, hey, what's the budget of some department in the last year? I'm actually going out, collecting the source data, storing that URL of the PDF, and processing the whole PDF financial data and building a whole application based on source information. So always ask for the source, always verify that the chatbot is responding well. And even like when it's generating an application, always not just trust it with everything, but go, hey, is there any security holes I can like close down here? Have you thought about cybersecurity? I've just created an API server. Can I like lock these down a bit? Is there any way for someone to enter dodgy text into the input form? And then like the AI will help you lock down the serve. So don't trust the first output. AI is a little bit lazy. It just does it as quick as it can. It's up to you as a steward or someone that's guiding the AI to control the tool that you're using and always monitor it, validate what it's doing, dot the I's, cross the T's. So it's really up to you. It's a tool. AI is a tool that everyone should learn, but needs to know how to use it. So.
All right. And another question we have about using vibe coding. Where is it still acceptable to prompt for generated SQL and then use it for actual database? And is it safe to use generated stored procedure on it for production server? And in fact, there is no data prompt also. This person who is asking is using AI generated database might vulnerability on it. Is it true? And then where currently I am using right now Cursor AI Pro. Then also I use Cursor Rules, but then my SQL database exposed for debugging in Cursor AI Chat.
Yeah, so Cursor is just a tool. It just helps you use AI to code and build applications. So again, you really need to ask AI and keep on top of, is it using the latest cybersecurity standards? Now, this is a great example. So like one of the things, like for example, when ChatGPT first came out and even all the way up to now, people obviously have to build an application. They connect a centralized AI service like ChatGPT to it, and then they can like start using AI in an application. So they're building an AI app. What they need to do is go to chatgpt.com, sign up, pay for it, get an API key, and then they put it in their VS Code or Cursor, and then the application can like use ChatGPT for their app. And one of the big problems that's easily searchable is they just vibe code. They store that API key hard coded in the code, and then they upload it to GitHub. And that's basically a no-no. So don't expose your keys publicly on a GitHub repository. People search it, they automatically search it with bots, and then they pull that ChatGPT API key down that you put on GitHub, open source, and then they can start charging services or using it frequently and rack up a bill for you. And that might be an AWS blob or some S3 bucket or anything like that. It could be like an Amazon storage drive or whatever that API key is. If you expose those keys publicly, don't use cybersecurity principles, don't use any knowledge whatsoever of IT and computer science, then you're going to run into issues. So I would always say it does still come down to the human to guide the AI. If you're trying to ask AI to build something, you still need to be monitoring and verifying what it's doing, and just have awareness that there is cybersecurity issues. So for an example, like the database that you mentioned, you just ask it 10 questions about, okay, is this database backend secure? Is there an API that's locked down so people can't access the API publicly? You know, there's things like, is it using the best practice standards? So best practice standards for API. And that's a really good prompt for an AI to go, hang on a sec, I'm going to lock down the API with an access key. I'm going to rate limit each endpoint so people can't spam it and access it 1,000 times. And obviously, you'd hook up a database in the backend through the API, for example. Then there's other things like you don't want SQL injection attacks. So you'd ask another question like, is it using the best practice backend standards, industry standards for SQL and the backend and the API? And it will go through and fix a lot of these issues for you. If it's an MVP or a prototype, you don't need high-level security, but you do need basic security. If you're building a startup and you just got 2 people, again, if it's public and it's a hackathon project, you just submitted it and that's it. You know, you still don't need huge security. Maybe you keep asking some other security questions around it and lock those down. But if you're building a startup and and a lot of people do this, they use vibe coding, they build the app, they raise like $10 million. And at that point, you raise $10 million. That's when you start needing to hire professional team. And that's where the cybersecurity specialist comes in. You'd hire them to do an audit of your application. You're building a production app with thousands, tens of thousands of users with consumer data. You really need to start hiring a team. You know, IT, computer science professionals. So it sort of goes, if you're vibe coding at home, building a prototype, you don't need huge like cybersecurity standards. And then as it scales up and you're building a professional enterprise business, you really need to hire a team that helps you. All of these other team members are still using AI tools as well. So don't think cybersecurity auditors don't use AI. They do. They're obviously processing lots of data, but they're doing it in a specialized professional way. They know what to ask the AI. They know what tools to use. They know what checks to look for, common vulnerabilities, best practice. So always think about using AI to help you make it as robust as possible. The same thing can be asked not just for cybersecurity, but performance. So will this database crash if it has 1 million users? Yes. And then you start building like redundancy and a different architecture. If you have 1 million users, you're at the point where you probably have a professional business, or maybe you're in a government department that needs it and has the money to hire a database guy that can help you. So there is a scaling question there. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
All right. So next, I believe these are the last few questions we have. Next question is, which AI agent is most recommended for vibe coding?
Yeah, I've mentioned before, but yeah, Llama 3.2 is really good by Meta. It's a quick response, large language model, and it can respond to data like you put in, like PDFs or text files. It's really good for that. DeepSeek, it's an innovator, but it's a thinking model. It takes a bit of time to respond. So if you have maybe you've built a game that uses AI as the enemy, and if you use DeepSeek, it's going to respond in like 10 seconds and it's too slow. So you could use Llama for quick responses. Maybe you built an NPC in a game that you talk to and it responds back. So use Llama for that. That's pretty cool. There is smaller models that run a lot quicker based on their parameter count. Every model, so I'll just give you a link, but you can like click through this yourself, and it's a really good library of AI models, not as complex as Hugging Face, where there's 2 million models. But if you just look at llama.com/library, look at the one-liner, look at the different AI models that are all open source and free. If you have the hardware, you can run that infinitely. You're not paying per call like ChatGPT, so it's a way to save money. Some are specialized on maths, some are specialized on coding, some are multilingual for humans languages. Some are image-based, some are sound text-to-speech based. So yeah, pick the right model and just plug that into Llama and you can start using it. Plug it into your AI app that you build in Cursor. You can start building cool apps using these AI models. And it changes every week. So AI industry is moving really fast. There's always a new model. Like I said, like a new model, Kimi K2 came out like a week ago. That's beating GPT-5 from ChatGPT. So it's very difficult to run locally, though. You do need a big, beefy computer to run it. And that's the problem with some of the models. But yeah, it's really, there's millions of them. So just pick and match as you need.
Okay, so we have a few last two questions. So the second to the last question we have is Cursor better than the Cloud Code?
Not sure Cloud Code. Oh, sorry, Claude Code. So yeah, Claude Code's really good. Again, you have to pay like $20 a month for Anthropic Claude, which is like 4.5 Sonnet. In Cursor, you do get some free credits a month to use that. Instead of selecting auto, you can just select a specific model. What I will do, I'll just quickly share my screen again. I want to just show you maybe just one thing, one place, because we keep getting asked about it. So if I just go to Cursor, we'll just bring up the basic vibe coding thing for the mechanic workshop. Thumbs up if you can see that. But you just go down here to auto. Instead of you letting Cursor choose the AI model yourself, you can actually select different models. So look for these big brain icons. So this one here, you can sort of select different AI models, and you can even add models. So you can actually go through, look for the older models. A lot of these are free. And one of the things to watch out for is when Grok Code came out 5 weeks ago, it was free for 3 weeks. So I was able to do heaps of coding using Grok Code. So it was called like, let me just look it up. So yeah, Grok Code. See, it even says it right there. Available for free for now within capacity limits. So you can actually use Grok Code for free. It's huge, lots of usage for free. And that's just a promotion that Elon's doing to get market share. People start using Grok for everything because it's free. And that's just like their tactic. And essentially there's an AI model marketplace. Some are closed source, some are open source. You can obviously run these open source models locally. But if you're talking about centralized closed source models, you can actually look at all these different models, use ChatGPT 5.1, use Claude Sonnet 4.5, use Grok, use GPT-5. When they come out, they do have promotions where you get access to it for free for 2 weeks. So typically that's, you only get about 2 weeks. The other side of the competitive marketplace is other models come out and they'll just give it out for free and just drop the price and really compete. And there's just so many providers. Kimi K2 is even here. So you can pay a small fee to Kimi K2, and that's better than GPT-5. And you just hook it all up. But yeah, look for those promotions. Like I said, available for free, Grok Code, really good for coding. But yeah, just have a look. So that's all hidden in this one area. So don't use, like you can use auto, it'll automatically select what's free and available for you. But if you want to dive into it, you can choose the model. The other one is Cursor version 2 came out like 2 weeks ago. They released their own model, and that was free as well. So Composer 1 is Cursor's model. So they're really starting to drop the prices for you and give that out more for free as well. So the innovation's always moving in AI, and yeah, as long as you're aware of these things and these tools, you can take advantage of that, whether you're using it for studying or building out coding applications. So.
All right, so we have the last question from Sir John Kenneth Sureda. Is vibe coding bad for junior developers?
Yeah, so there's two sides of the coin. So this is like the good old maths question: is calculators bad for math students? The answer is yes and no. So yep, calculators mean that you don't have to do the long format pages and pages of calculations handwritten. You can just put it into a calculator and it calculates those complex maths questions. I'm sure teachers at the same time were also complaining about calculators coming in the 80s or whatever. So, it's a very similar problem, especially for the education industry. Now, it's really up to the student. If they just want to use the calculator and not figure out how to divide by hand, then when they get to that test and they have to do it without a calculator, maybe they'll get in trouble and they won't be able to answer it. Normally with exams, you have the calculator tool available. And I think that's what's happening in the AI industry right now. These tools are becoming near free, they're commoditized, open source, people can run it anywhere at home. You can even run some models on your phone as well. And even the next round of iPhones are going to have more AI inference chips on the iPhone, so you can run more powerful AI locally. So that's just the way the world is. The calculators are everywhere. The AI models are everywhere. It's really up to the user. So if you don't use AI correctly, you'll get very lazy. You'll not verify or interrogate or understand what the AI is doing and just let it do its thing. Then that's a problem. So you're not learning much if you just said, hey, create a website and do this, and not look at all of that stuff I showed you, which is the code that it makes, the files that it created, look through the conversation history, try and understand what it's doing every step of the way. Even though it's beautiful and automated, always understand what it's doing. Be very not cynical, but just like articulate some questions around, hang on, where is this source data coming from? Where is this financial data coming from? Provide the source. And I always try and build figure out where the source is coming from. And if you know a bit more about AI models like you do now, all these AI models are trained by someone. Someone spent processing power training the AI model. It could be a company in China, it could be a company in the US, it doesn't really matter, but they're using specific training data set. Maybe it's restricted to be politically correct and hide a whole bunch of information. So it really does come down to you choosing the right AI model and understanding that there is bias to some AI models. Some models aren't very good at coding. So when you go to build an AI app and there's all these problems, you'll quickly understand that when it tries to fix it and run into all these errors. So it really does come down to the person using the AI tool. It's just a tool, like a calculator. Uh, you need to understand what you're doing and what you're typing into the calculator. The same with AI. You need to understand the basics of full stack app development. There's a back end, there's a database, there's a front end, there's a website, there's hosting. Um, there's also cybersecurity for every single part of that area. So uh, a knowledgeable person with an AI tool is like a 10x sort of developer that is very productive. If you're just going in blindly, not looking at the responses, figuring out what's happening under the hood, then yeah, you'll get the same sort of result. It'll be a website with all the wrong mechanic parts. It, like we even just showed in the demo, it's showing the wrong currency because it's an AI model that's trained in the USA. It's got US dollars on the website. Obviously, if you don't verify what the output is, you're building a Philippine mechanic small business website, and then you ship that, give it to the customer, charge, I don't know, like 1,000 pesos or 10,000 pesos. Then they turn around and say, why are you using US dollars? And you go, oops, I didn't look at what the AI was doing. And that's literally the person controlling the AI. That's their problem. And it really comes down to how they use the AI tool.
All right, so that I hope that answers all the questions that we have, and unfortunately, that's the last question that we can cater. So thank you so much to everyone who stayed active and engaged throughout our and info session. So at this point, we would like to honor our resource speakers for generously sharing their time, knowledge, and expertise with us today. So we will now present these certificates of appreciation. On behalf of the ICT Region 10, thank you for your meaningful contribution to today's session. So, your dedication to fostering innovation and empowering our participants is truly appreciated. So, let's give them both a virtual round of applause, please.
Thank you
And
for the opportunity.
all right, thank you so much, sir.